Hey, how you doing? I'm Les Carlson. This is Frontline Rewind. Mic stand.
I'd rather sit.
Ooh.
Hardy har.
That was very good. And
told me to
Keith
say that.
Rogers.
Hey.
Now, believe it or not, these guys are father and son.
Son and father.
Oh.
And I have a
Dad
question.
and
I have a question.
I have a, oh boy.
When did you first meet?
About 19 years ago.
Wow.
Or so.
Really? And what did you first say to him?
I sang Hey Jude.
Really?
Yes.
And I still remember that song.
I sang to him, first thing I sang was Hey Jude.
So here's your son, and
Yes.
you come out with Hey Jude?
That's one of the
awesome.
first thing. Yeah, I sang Hey Jude to him.
And I've loved Beatles ever since.
Yes.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
you guys kind of resemble each other in your actions and stuff. So, like I said earlier, the acorn
happens-
doesn't fall too
Ready?
far from the tree.
It happens that way.
Now, Keith, you are also, you produced this song.
I did.
Okay,
Which song?
And the title of that song was?
Gotcha. I just can't let go.
I just couldn't remember that title, but you got it for me. So,
Well,
you actually,
I'm good for something.
the man in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay, so Keith, did you actually produce this after you discovered it? Where was it, on a
Yeah.
cassette tape or something?
Yeah,
in your
exactly.
dad's. Oh, there it is.
Oh.
Is this the actual cassette tape?
It was in his shirt.
It was in the cassette
To
tape.
reenact the scene.
Do it.
Hey, Keith, I have something in my pocket.
Show me. What could it be?
It is a GLM demo with a song called, I don't know what it's called. Maybe you can help me figure it out. Do you think
Okay.
I'm not smart enough. Do you think I'm smart enough to figure out how this song goes since I wrote it 30 years ago?
I think if we put our heads together,
maybe we
things
can do it.
happen.
Wow.
Nothing happened.
Oh, we should try again. Oh.
Still nothing happened. Maybe I should go off by myself and figure this out. Do you think I'm smart enough to?
Yes, I do. I think your mic stand, you can do whatever you want.
Goodbye.
Wow.
So this
you
is
get,
actually
This is all
impromptu.
spontaneous right here.
Yeah.
This is just happening.
Exactly.
Live and direct.
Took 19
Did the whole
years.
Siamese twin thing. Put their heads
19 years.
So,
Yes. That's
Okay,
what it was
so-
on.
so
What's
you-
this demo on one
So we
side
got-
and basics on
We
the
got
side?
drums, bass, and some okay guitars on there. I mean, obviously the tone wasn't ideal, right, for like a song. So we just took it. I kind of did some things to it to make it sound more, put together, tight. Some
Better.
add some more bass to it.
you did?
Well, that's all we had.
Add some more, low frequencies to it, and then
So did you do this in Pro Tools or something? Or
actually a program called Reaper, which
What is it?
Very cool. It's called Reaper.
Reaper.
Very close to Pro Tools. It's a mix between Logic and Pro Tools, so it's pretty cool. It's until I get Pro Tools is what I've been using. So,
Okay.
So we did that. We retracked guitars on it.
We used original.
Yeah, we used it. We had the original guitars on there. Then we layered some more guitars on there as well.
So you worked off the original track
Yeah,
and
this-
added some things to it.
This is it. This is the
You
track.
actually-
That's all we had. Didn't have the
Wow.
24. We
so
had
you
the cassette.
built off of that. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
so we
really-
added the original GLM guitar to it, Telecaster,
Okay. Yep.
with my Marshall, and then vocals, and then Jeff Crandall came in and did some lower vocals on it.
Yeah.
Had Jeff do some.
And the drums that were on there?
That was on there. That's all you got.
Yeah.
This is from the cassette.
Yeah, that's
So we
cool.
didn't, and the thing that was kind of crazy is, like I said, there was no vocals on it. I haven't sang the
Yeah.
song in 30 years. I don't know how it went. We had to figure it out. I had to figure it out. So I had the lyrics. I had
okay.
this.
Okay.
And I had this track, and I had to figure out how'd this go again.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. And, of course, they're going to do it right now, live and direct.
Exactly. Directly live.
Here we go.
Plug it in.
1, 2, 3, go. I look around this world, I see the pain and suffering. I just can't believe the way people treat each other. It gets to me, yeah, it brings me down. But Lord, you're my hope, me the strength, give me the will to hold on. I look to you when everything is crumbling around me. Oh, I just can't let go. Oh, Lord, you're all that I know. Oh, I just can't let go, no. Let go of you. Come a day when I'll be home with you. A life with no tears, I'll never hunger or thirst again. No, here I stand, just longing for that day. But until then, I'm trying to serve you any way I can. Oh, I just can't let go. Good job, Mr. Keith.
Thank you.
I just can't let go. From the release of Gut Level Music on Girder Records, available now. All right, this is a song called "There Is a Love" from the Gut Level Music Project album. My son Keith on Gibson J160.
My dad owned a Guild.
Beat up Guild. You got the nice guitar. How'd that happen? Here we go. This is "There Is a Love." 1, 2, 3, again. it'll roll right off the backs. Yeah, hearts can be like stone, I tell you that's a fact. Well, love will have its triumph, in power he will come, like a flash across the sky, burning every soul. There is love, there is love, there is love, there is love, there is love that I am thinking of. Hey, there is love, there is love, there is love, there is love, there is love that I am thinking of. There is a love, 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 there is a love. As there's a love.
Okay.
So
Hi,
Les.
Adele.
Hi, Les.
Hi.
Hey, I wanted people to be reminded that we record our shows all the time.
Yes.
And it's really fun because lately we've been able to get together live with artists
With artists. And it's been great. So we want to, again, remind you.
that we actually air some of the clips, video clips on Frontline Records YouTube channel.
Yeah. So it's not just audio anymore. There's some actual video clips that kind of are exciting because you get to see the artists and how we are in real life and our natural habitat behind the microphone.
That's right. And most of the time we videotape and we air clips of the artists playing instruments, singing, guitar,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. A lot of fun.
Yeah, we throw that in when we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very exciting. We're happy to do this because there's so much great music that it needs to be heard. And it's here, right here at Frontline Records Rewind.
Oh,
This is You Are Loved by the Altar Boys.
you are loved.
And this is Keith.
And this is Mike.
Thank you. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Hard times in the city just don't go away out here. They anger and frustration never takes a holiday now. I see the faces hacking out turn away. Hey man, I'm talking to you. Yeah, I'm trying to get through. God cares about you more than you think. To all the hearts that have been broken, to all the dreamers with abandoned dreams, to everybody in need of a friend now, you are loved, you are loved. To all the rebels wounded in battle, to all the rockers that have lost that beat, to all the users all used up now, you are loved, you are loved. And a flash, he walked out, he just couldn't take anymore. What he thought was happiness just turned around, smashing the floor now. I see the faces hacking out, turn away. Hey man, I'm talking to you, I'm trying to get through. God cares about you more than you think. Yeah, to all the hearts that have been broken, to all the dreamers with abandoned dreams, to everybody in need of a friend now, you are loved, you are loved. To all the rebels wounded in battle, to all the rockers that have lost that beat, to all the users all used up now, you are loved, you are loved. You don't need to stand alone. There's someone you can hold on to. I wanna let you know you are loved. You are loved. This world is such a hard place. You just get lost in
Oh, that was swell.
So actually, then Keith, you were involved in the remastering process with
Yeah.
GL.
I did all the I did the total remaster for it. They sent. I had the actual like CD. And I took the the WAV files off that, and I just put it into Reaper and started going for it, and just started boosted the low frequencies a little bit, made it a lot louder, and just brought some more clarity to it. And it was super fun to work with, like Altar Boys. Like, that's so cool. And I always tell, like, my dad is in a band in the 80s called the Altar Boys. You ever heard of them, And I get to finally work on, one of the old albums. It was very surreal.
So, like I said, he'd be mastering in one side of the room, and I'd be on the other side listening to it. It's like, so surreal. There's my son mastering my project. So, but like I said, we couldn't work off the original master. We had to work off the CD. So that was...
Which is fine.
We had to do master and master, sort of.
Right, because you don't have the actual masters.
Yeah, so it made it work. He did a good job. We had experimented with it.
Yeah, it's definitely a learning curve for sure.
Yeah, so it was a good experience for him, and to have him do it. I mean, how cool is that? Have your son master one of your projects?
That's amazing.
Yeah, very, very cool.
That's a total blessing. Yeah, and for you listeners, father and sons, fathers and daughters, mothers and sons, mothers and daughters. We're also, it's so important, these relationships. And as you guys know, I lost my son in 2013. And he was very close to me, like you guys are. He had a major record collection and CD collection. And the guys in Bloodgood, we'd always come to Jeff and say, "Hey, Jeff, what do you think of this new song? It's for the next album." And he was always like, I like it, but I think maybe, the tone. And
so he's your best critic.
He's talking to Oz Fox and Paul Jackson, and they're going to my son. He was the guy that we'd go to and say, "What do you think of this new Bloodgood song?" And we had to get Jeff's approval.
So he's your best critic.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
And we still have an amazing relationship because he is not dead. He is alive.
He's alive.
He's
That's
with
right.
Christ.
That's right.
And that's what this is about. People don't understand. People in the world don't understand that you go from here to there.
It's right. Right.
And there
from life to life
depends on but where you go depends on some decisions, a very important decision.
Very important decisions you have to make.
And
exactly.
It's so wonderful to see that you guys have made that decision collectively. Of course.
Yes, we're very fortunate, and I'm very
look
fortunate.
At your lives.
Yeah, and
it's awesome.
Yeah, very fortunate to have that with your son, to be able to have him, be your partner as well in music, and it just kind of happened. It's nothing that we planned, from early on. It's just something we just grew into and did.
So this song that's coming up right here is called GLM, stands for Gut Level Music, and I like it because lyrically it talks about some different people and like specific things that are going on with them, and I think that it's kind of a cool way to connect with people that might have similar like issues going on, or like even if they're different, it's just like, oh wow, like he's talking about me, if they personally connect with it. So. And it's just a great song, I think. It's just super angsty and cool. So.
And it's the title track.
It is the title track.
How about that? Gut level music.
Here it is.
Before they locked old Jimmy up, I said, "Hey, Jimmy,
This show is brought to you by Frontline Records.
Yes, and all of the music
Yes.
by all of the Frontline Records artists
Yes.
can be found on frontlinerecords.us.
Frontlinerecords.us? Wow. Go for it. Yes. As I was sitting back, sort of listening, I got the impression that you're busy with a lot of different musical projects. Is that true?
Yeah,
really?
I am.
Well, let's hear about it.
Well, the main project I'm involved with right now is called Good Walkers. It's a duo. Me, I'm the drummer / songwriter guy, and we got the singer who's the main visionary of the band. And we used to be a full band, but now we're just a duo, and we're just getting songs recorded and just doing different things like that. And we got 13 songs, drums done. And now we're just slowly building on that, and getting things done and also writing new stuff. So that's the most involved project I'm in right now.
Are you also producing this?
Yeah. Also him and I we own a studio together called Hog Heaven Studios, which is kind of cool. And we produce other people.
Where is it? Let's plug it while we're at it.
It's Orange County.
Okay, we're
Tustin,
closer.
California.
Hog Heaven Studios?
Hog Heaven Studios.
Okay.
It's at his house, and he's got this basement where he has the main control room in his room, and it's really nice. It's not what you think. It's really nice. And you go to the basement, you got the nice drum room in there. You get the drum set, get all mic'd up. You can put a guitar cabinet in there, vocals in there, and do FaceTime for talk back. It's a really cool setup. So we do that there. And then, that whole thing is going on, and just him and I really clicked together, and we've done a lot of sessions for other people, played with a lot of different cool artists in Los Angeles and stuff like that.
Okay, and once again, what is your partner's name?
Trevor Brown.
Trevor Brown.
Yes, he's Trevor Brown.
All right, very talented man.
Oh yeah, multi-instrumentalist, so it's really cool to work with him, and it's just so fun bouncing ideas off of him, and then he bounces ideas off of me, and we just really work together in a really cool way. So
yeah,
you can expect to hear a lot from Good Walkers coming up, and I think May is when we're going to start releasing some stuff. So.
Good Walkers.
Good Walkers. Yeah.
I like it.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. And then outside of that, I do a lot of other different things. I got my own studio called Project K Studios, also in Orange County, California. And I just been recording a lot of local bands, mostly my own bands that I'm in. I was in a band called the Asymmetrics during high school, so for 3 years or so. And we did a lot of, that's when I really started getting into engineering and recording, was that band. And just wanting to release, stuff that we did. And I was like, oh, I should try recording out. So I got GarageBand,
Yeah.
And I started just, picking all these, sound engineers' brains that work at, Calvary Church or whatever. And just started compiling a bunch of stuff together and figuring it out. And we eventually got an EP down, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I love recording and engineering and putting ideas down on the computer and releasing it and showing everyone. So I really wanted to make that a cool thing that I could do, and I just kind of felt like I was confident in producing and tracking. So I got some traction. I went to OSHA for high school, Orange County High School of the Arts in Santa Ana, and there's just a lot of creativity there, a lot of really cool people and cool bands, and so I just kind of was like, hey, I record at my studio, and you want to come by and track some songs? They're like, yeah, sure. So I got a few clients that way, just word of mouth, and it was really cool working with a bunch of different people. Every time I do a session or whatever, I always learn something new. That's one thing. Something always goes wrong, and I'm like, oh, I gotta remember that for next time.
Well, it goes wrong so you can get better what you do, right?
Of course, yeah.
So then we learn through mistakes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your dad has always been very supportive?
Oh yeah, very supportive. I always can bounce ideas off of him whenever. I'm like, hey, do you think this sounds cool? Or what does this need? It needs something else. He's like, oh, you might want to try this. And I tried it. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And so I really look up to his songwriting and production value and stuff like that.
Well, our desks are on the opposite sides of the studio.
Exactly, yeah.
So he's, well, in the studio, I have a desk one corner, he has the other, so he'd be working on something, and what do you think of this one, or that, or what I'm doing here, or I'll ask him over here, well, I'm kind of working on this, what do you think of this? So we'll kind of bounce ideas off each other, and of course, Keith did Heading Out West.
I did, I mixed Heading Out West for Alter Billy's, my dad's rockabilly band. You should look them up.
They're famous.
They are famous.
They are.
Literally.
It's a real good record.
You might have already heard about
it.
them.
On the radio. I mean, that's why we're doing this, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, well, it looks to me like you guys have really got, this is this is a good thing to see a father and son work this way together.
It's fun.
Most of the time.
And yeah, you know, that's
Depends which hat I'm wearing.
Yeah.
you got to have a little bit of
Dad hat.
Dad
or my
hat.
dad or my
Isn't that-
Dad hat or
musician.
Mike Stan hat is Mike Stan hat. Okay, Dad hat.
Oh, so there are some areas there that you're working on?
Dad hat.
Dad hat.
Father son kind
He
of.
doesn't like Dad hat.
So he goes, hey, Keith, I'm putting my dad hat on now.
But I do.
Okay.
He warns me so I can
Yeah.
do what I do to avoid. I don't know.
That's a great marketing thing for. You got to sell dad hats and you know. On the road. The
Yes.
Mike Stan dad hat. You know, what does it look like? It's got a hammer on it or what?
Basically, yeah.
I
A
imagine
few
it kinda-
armaments.
It's got a
Has a
hammer.
lot of things on it.
It's got a drill.
You really want to know?
Yeah. Oh, I'm kind of trying to get into this family thing. He's got a hammer. He's got a drill. But he's
name a
fun to
few.
work with.
Baseball bat.
A bat. He's got a baseball bat. That's great. And that's helped you shape you and mold you and beat
Oh
you
yeah. Oh,
into
yeah.
shape.
Beat me into shape. I'm kidding. No, he never beat me.
only when you're 6 or
Yeah,
7.
don't say that on radio.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, only when he was 6, but
Well, it didn't
apparently
beat
it's,
him.
it's past 7 years. We can't get
Yeah, I
that
can't
one.
know.
Sorry, I didn't read that word.
You could take me down, kind of. So
right,
don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Keith, you're awesome.
Oh, thank you.
You're really talented.
Appreciate that.
You sound great. Your vocal is strong and beautiful.
Thank you.
The tone that you guys have, I mean, it could have been the Bee Gees, but it didn't sound like them. But you got that blend, you know?
Well, we also played in a little rockabilly group together too.
We do.
It's just a small one, a small group.
Well, we play
Small
that every
rockabilly?
3 or 4 months. It's called the Rockabilly Roundup Quartet, and so we play with a couple guys here at church, and he'll play drums, and we'll do some things here, and just to kind of keep in touch and play together like that. So
So what kind of a drum kit do you have?
Ooh.
Let's hear it.
This is the good part.
Come on.
I love drums, first of all, and I've played a lot of kits in my life, but there's this local custom kit builder. His name's Billy Blast, and he's based in Orange County, California, like right down the street from me.
Yeah.
And he makes killer kits. I ordered some big sizes from him, too, and
What are they called?
it's just Billy Blast Custom Drums USA. You can look him up. And I love the sound he got with the shells he gave me, and the finish is killer too. It looks a lot like Ringo's kit
Oh.
from the Beatles, the first one, the Black Oyster Pearl type thing.
Yeah.
So it's really nice.
Hey, Beatle.
Hey Beatle. So this song is called "I Question It," and I really like it. I mean, the lyrics are obviously great. This whole record has great lyrics. And this one, I just like how, I don't know, your vocals, Dad, were just
I
super
was
cool on
screaming.
this one. You're just like, I question it. And I was like,
Yeah, I was
whoa,
screaming.
nice. So I just stood out to me because it was, again, like super angsty and just like, oh, he does question it, doesn't he?
I did.
Very much.
Still do. Not much has changed. It's a little more
course.
ornery about it now.
Of course. But and I like the idea of like, oh, you say this is going on? Oh, I don't know about that, you know? Like, I question that. That seems really weird. So I like the lyrics. I like the oomph in it. So check it out.
I question it.
I do.
Everything is on the upswing in this land. Things are looking good, yeah, we're looking strong again. Well, I question it. Yeah, I
there was a big wave just like happening.
Yeah.
Just right around, I mean, the kind of music that you guys were doing, there was this whole little subculture of,
It really, really was.
yeah.
You know, I began in '81 with a band called the Chosen Ones, and Undercover and the Lifesavers, and then the Lifters, and then we came along about a little under a year later. But yeah, it was a whole thing, and you know, back then you could just advertise with a flyer that you were going to have a concert, and kids, yeah, concert
show
at
up,
church, yeah, heck yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, it was no problem getting 200 or 300 kids out there for an event. There was a great energy. You played high schools, you know, just different.
Yeah.
You know, a different time. Our culture was in a little different place. Kids were in a different place, different needs. Oh well, always the same need, I guess. It's just maybe different medium or something like that. But you know, that's just how it worked back then.
Yeah.
You know.
But again, here you are back.
Well, I'm
You
still
know,
playing.
I mean, the GLM thing, you know, gut level music. I mean, it's like it's going to be re-released.
Yes.
And it's back, and there's a buzz about it. And,
There is a buzz about it.
And you know, I mean, so look at this.
Well, and it's nice too, is, you know, it's nothing I had to create, and that's always nice too. I didn't say, hey, you know,
Yeah.
it just kind of, it happened, and that's the best way for it to just to kind of, you know, happen on its own for people. I'll be honest with you, when I was done, I hate to say that word, when the group was over, we'd finished our ministry in '92, I really felt, okay, did that, time to move on, Clash of Cymbals. You know, no one's going to really remember that. That's kind of over. You know, and new bands came in, and that, you know, we're kind of passe. And I never forget my oldest brother. I was talking to him about it. He turned to me and said, "Oh, they're going to remember." I said, "I'm not going to remember. No one's going to care in a couple of years. I mean, you know, it's done. They got all these new bands coming up, and so they're going to remember." And even earlier on at MRC with Bill Valenzuela, who was down there, when we started getting traction about '83. I was sitting talking with him. He goes, "You know, Mike, you know they're going to be talking about you guys and all the bands here years to come." I go, "Oh, they're not. Come on." "No, they will. This is this very special time, and God has called you guys. It's very unique, Mike." And you know, if you would have told me 30 years later this was going to happen, I said, "No way." With I mean, we knew GLM was a good record when we were done. In fact, our road manager at the time, John Stoddard, was down listening to the final cuts with Terry and Rob and everybody, and we were done. And I remember turning to him just saying, you know, this is a good one. And he said, "Yeah, this is a good one." But I didn't think 30 years later people would care, honestly. Didn't think it was, you know. So, yeah, I mean, amazing.
Yeah. It's amazing. Longevity. Didn't even try for it.
No,
living in the moment.
I didn't.
You know, doing what you did, living in the moment.
You do what you did.
And 30 years down the road, it's
I mean, the record was done so quick, 160 hours.
yeah.
That's it. Mixing everything. We didn't have time to mess around. We had to get in and do it.
Well, back in those days, that's
Yeah, I mean, it's not as fast as the Beatles doing their first one, but for us, for multi-tracking, you know, there wasn't a lot of time, so we had to be well rehearsed.
And what was the studio originally from?
We used to call it the Music Barrel.
And who was the engineer?
Well,
Doug?
Doug Doyle. That's terrible.
He did our first album, you know.
Yeah, I know you guys did
Yeah,
it down there.
yeah.
Yeah, Blood Good album down there. Yeah.
So that's probably the same studio.
Yeah, but it's not the Music Barrel. How come I can't remember it? That's what Terry used to call it. What?
Whitefield?
No, it wasn't Whitefield. We did Rebel, When You're Rebel at Whitefield, and part of the first record. I'll know when we're done here. So
Yeah.
Doug engineered, and Rob Watson did a lot of engineering and a lot of the mixing on it.
Yeah.
And Terry did a lot of mix. Their input was really valuable. I mean, but like I said, everything was
Terry
pretty
Taylor's
much
a
done.
genius.
Yeah, Terry Taylor. It was nice having both those guys
Yeah.
too. So they helped. Particularly, Terry was real good with vocals. Helping with vocals, just making sure my nuances and everything like that were correct. So. But we had a lot of interesting things that happened, like during the session, during GLM, we were tracking, and Jeff we took about 2 or 3 days to track everything, and on the second day we tracked everything except for 2 songs, and then on the third day Jeff calls in the morning and says, I have a piece of glass in my finger.
Oh.
I have to go to the doctor. And then he walks in the studio with this big old arm all wrapped up, and so we could. Oh, I just looked at him like, what? A little piece of glass from doing the dishes? So we didn't get all the drums track.
Wimp?
Yeah, what's the matter with you? Let's see if we got a record to do, Jeff?
Tie a drumstick to that cast.
Do something. So he just,
Yeah.
so we went ahead and just kind of overdid some overdubs, and then about a week, I think we had to do Life Begins at the Cross and Final Hour or something like that. We had to finish those 2 tracks, so we wanted to have them do that a week later, track those later.
Which is, back in those days, you'd have the drums set up for those sounds.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
That's a
So I had to
tough
go
Really?
tear
All
them
that
down
stuff?
and get it up all again and get it all set up again. Well, there was people constantly going out of
Yeah. But usually...
whatever that studio name is that I can't remember.
Usually
the
you don't-
Music Barrel.
The music barrel. Yeah, usually you don't have to, take the drums down in the middle of a session, put them back up, and get the sounds again. That's a little...
I think we had
It
to
was
do
tricky.
that. Yeah, that was tricky. I think maybe we left them set up. I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's 30 years ago.
You're
I'm lucky to be
you're
here.
not expected.
I'm lucky to be here.
You don't have to have every detail, Mike. You know what I'm
Beethoven died at 57. We're still
Oh, my
around,
gosh. Yeah.
This is the very first song I wrote for GLM. Of course, we didn't have GLM at the time. This is back in 1983. This is a song called "You Found Me." This is the original lyrics.
Right there.
And what I wanted to do originally, as I sat down, I said, I want to write a song in the style of U2.
Me too?
No, U2 the band.
Oh, you too.
U2. And so I literally took 20 minutes to write the lyrics. You can see there's a few things scratched out, but not much. This is the original lyric right here. And it took me 20 minutes. Now, I don't get this lucky very
That's
often.
pretty quick.
Yeah.
For a guy that moves slow.
Very slow.
Not methodical.
Well, I was younger then. I moved a little faster. But not by much.
But faster than now.
Faster than now. Well, this particular one. So, You Found Me was written in 83. I took it to the guys, and I said, this is my U2 song. And they said, this doesn't sound like U2. Well, I intended
It will.
It will. When I get done with it.
I'm just being slow right now.
I'm just being slow. So that was the first song written for, and we put it on the first record, Altar Boys 1, and we weren't too happy with the way it was done. And we just felt it was a little slow, and there was a keyboard thing on it in the intro, and we thought, well, this deserves a little bit better. Uh-huh. And we had gotten a good reaction to the song. And I consider You Found Me like my first really good song, decent song that I did. I mean, not discounting any of the other ones, I'm Into God, or Well Okay, or All Right, or
But
any
this
other
is
ones.
your right as the guy that,
Well, this is my first. I didn't realize that I didn't realize at the time how important this song was to people. Mm-hmm. But it's probably, and I might be wrong, but I think it's probably the most important song I've written because it's so personal. Mm-hmm. And I originally didn't think I'd written about me, but years later I realized it really is more about me than I intended it to be. I didn't at the time. I just thought some character going through this, of needing God, of needing salvation, finding he was lost, and then finding God. So it just definitely had a storyline. Started out, him being totally lost, and then finding God and what it took from there. And then, like I said, years later, I looked at this. What is this about me? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It really is about me, So that's a little story behind You Found Me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
You found me.
You
Okay.
Hi,
here's-
Adele again.
Hey, Les. Here's something new that we're doing with our Frontline Records rewind shows.
What is it?
We are putting together playlists on Spotify of the music that we feature on the rewind episodes.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
That's
So
great.
a lot of people are into Spotify.
Yeah.
And so they can go to the Frontline Records Spotify playlists and find our music with our featured artists.
So remember,
Frontline Records.
you can't forget. You've got a better memory than that. It's Spotify.
That's right.
It's Frontline Records Rewind.
One thing about we didn't talk about the longevity. One aspect of the longevity of GLM, and I just thought about this. And John, it talks about Jesus coming in grace and truth. A lot of people miss the truth
Grace
part.
and truth.
They always talk about, well, if God loves me, He wouldn't do that. If God, why would God want us? Why would God want this to happen? Why would God send anybody here? But they miss, He's full of grace, right?
Yeah.
But they miss the truth part. Okay, they miss the truth part, and that's what I think GLM has on both extremes. It has the grace. You are loved, unconditional love. There is a love. That's on the one extreme. On the other extreme, you have songs like, I'm not talking about religion, and I question that kind of punch you right in the face. Okay, very, very. Some people might say, some say dogmatic, and then you have songs like Final Hour, which really has both of them. It kind of punches you, but it's the love in Jesus that made him want to go to the cross and sweat great drops of blood. So, besides, I think the music really touched people. It connected with people, and that's something you can't manufacture. You know what I mean? How many great songs that come along? You think that's a great song, and it just didn't take off for a great album. For whatever reason, the music in GLM really resonated with a lot of kids, and a lot of people really connected with them. But I think, too, on an even deeper basis, it's the idea it's really incorporated and really embraced the aspect of Jesus' truth and the grace. Mm-hmm. Now, a song like I'm Not Talking About Religion is very, very dogmatic. Hey, I'm not here talking about, on this particular song, about what you think about science, what it has to say. Science is important. Politics is important. The way you look and dress is important. But I'm not talking about this right here. I'm talking about your relationship with God. I'm talking about what's going to happen to you in life. I'm not talking about religion. I know people would want to categorize Christianity as a religion. I say all religions are not created equal. But the big difference is, as you and I know less, Christianity is God reaching down to mankind and doing that through showing the love through Jesus Christ and His sacrifice on the cross and redeeming us. And that's what this song talks about. I'm not talking about you trying to reach up to God, or in a way that you do it. Science can be a religion. Environmentalism can be a religion. There's so many different people wouldn't categorize as religions, but your belief system is basically a religion in a lot of ways. But the difference is, and this is the difference, is that Christianity is God reaching down to man. God literally coming on earth and walking as a human being. And make no mistake about it, Jesus said, I'm the guy. You that see me, those that see me have seen the Father which is heaven. I and the Father are one. That's why the Jews wanted to stone him, make himself equivalent with God. And it's up to you whether we want to decide whether that's true or not. So that's what this song's about. Saying, hey, I'm not talking about some religion. I'm talking about something that has changed the world. The truth of Christ is something that the message of Christ is something that's never been heard before. It was so revolutionary, and it continues today, and it continues to be, for lack of a better term, controversial today because the words are just so intense. So this is the song. I'm not talking about religion, not said in a nutshell, but said from the heart of Mike Stand.
It some old lie. I'm telling you, God lives in my heart. That's right. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand where I'm coming from? Do you? Do you? Do you? A lie is a lie, man, no matter how I say I'm tired of all that destruction. I'm sick of it. I'm gonna sing it like it is Jesus is God. He died for you and he rose from the dead. That's the way it is. Just tune in, you will see. I like set free. Listen to me. I'm not talking about religion. I'm not talking about just belief. I'm not talking about going to church. No, that's not Christianity. I'm not talking about science. I'm not talking about politics. I'm not talking about shit right now. I'm talking about God, that's relationship. Oh yeah. I'm not talking about religion. It's just a belief. I'm going to church. About science. Politics. Shaving your head. That's not Christianity. That's not Christianity. Have you lost your sanity? That's not Christianity.
All right. Well, this has been a wonderful journey, and but it's not over yet.
It's not over yet.
This
no.
is the end of part one.
Part one.
And I'm Les Carlson. This is Mike Stand.
I'm going to sit, though, this time.
You're gonna sit and enjoy.
Just don't say Mike Bark.
Rough.
Just don't say it.
I can't speak.